D'Addario XT Phosphor Bronze versus Stringjoy Phosphor Bronze. We gotta talk about this. Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Jeremy, welcome to the Showdown. Today we got the D'Addario XTs in Phosphor Bronze versus the Stringjoy in Phosphor Bronze. And you know, we sort of have a lot to talk about. I kind of have a bone to pick with Stringjoy, to be quite honest with you. But first, let's get a couple things out of the way. As far as these tests go, I mic everything the same exact way with a pair of Mic-Tech C5 cardioid condenser microphones pointed at the 14th fret. So everything is basically treated as an experiment and recorded the same exact way over and over. I didn't add any EQ or effects, but I did normalize every single audio region to 0 dB just so they're around the same volume, but nothing else was processed and post in any way. Both of these sets of strings are uncoated and they're in Phosphor Bronze, and they're also 11s to 52s, so I think they're kind of like a custom light sort of mixture. They're my favorite gauge, so every time I do a string showdown, they're always gonna be in that gauge size. These strings are about the same price, which I think they're around like $16 to $18, depending on where you get them. Now, I've done string showdowns with the D'Addario XTs before, and they're great sounding strings. I definitely recommend them. They don't feel coated because they're not coated, so I typically don't lean toward non-coated strings, but for non-coated strings, they actually feel pretty good, and the Stringjoys aren't coated either. So we're gonna check out a few examples first, and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts at the end of the video. I definitely have some strong opinions here, and I normally don't sort of convey strong opinions in these string showdowns. I really just want the I don't know, the riffs and examples to sort of speak for themselves, but something kind of rubbed me the wrong way here, to be brutally honest with you. So let's listen to some examples. Tell me what you think in the comments, subscribe. I'll be back with my final thoughts after these examples. think we need to have a little bit of a conversation here. I've been doing these String Showdown videos for a couple years, on and off, and I've gone through lots of different types of strings. And with Stringjoy, I've pretty much been marketed the hell out of. You know, I've been seeing Stringjoy on my Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube, and their YouTube channel is actually really awesome, by the way. But their acoustic guitar strings for $18 strings, I mean, I gotta say, I was super disappointed. And I wanna say this because I know a lot of, some of these differences in these string showdowns is really minute and it's really hard to hear. So I think it's kind of beneficial for you to hear what my actual thoughts on these are, especially with these, because I think when I recorded the XTs along with the Stringjoys, they kind of sounded similar in some examples, and I wanted to clarify a few things first. So first, for strings that are like $17 or $18, they just shouldn't sound dead. To me, these Stringjoys were dead on arrival. They're all dead. There's no sustain, there's no clarity. They sounded like crap, to be honest with you. And again, for $18 strings, I don't love changing strings. I'm trying to change strings as little as I can as a guitarist. And if I'm doing these String Showdown videos, I'm changing strings a ton. So I'm spending tons of money on strings. I'm changing strings frequently. So I'm getting to the point where I don't want to change strings a lot. So the money I spend on what I would call premium strings, they better sound pretty good. All strings are going to sound different. Elixirs are going to sound different from Martins. Martins are going to sound different from D'Addario different from whatever else is out there. But these Stringjoys, man, they sounded like crap, and they felt like crap too. I really didn't like them at all. And, you know, clearly by this video, I'm not sponsored. Don't have any string sponsorships here, so I can pretty much just go off the cuff. And honestly, I think as a consumer, you're a consumer, I'm a consumer, we need to hold these companies' feet to the fire when their product sucks. And to me, the product sucked. It really wasn't good. I basically took the strings off as soon as possible after I recorded these. So I was going from Elixir to Stringjoy, and now I'm back on Elixir again, because they're my favorites anyway, and you guys probably know that through these videos. But I couldn't stand them. I just couldn't even bear like an extra hour with these strings than I would have normally if I was doing a string showdown with like pretty much any other type of string. I usually give it like a week or so of breathing room to really get a feel for these strings. But the thing that sort of bothers me the most is that I know that there's certain buzzwords out there that sort of trigger like a primal response in certain ways. So to me, when I hear Nashville, I think of music, and I think of good music, and I think it's sort of like the epicenter of music in America. You know, I would think that they know a few things about strings, but they marketed Nashville on the box, Nashville on the website, and I get it that they're based out of Nashville, but to me, it's just buzzwords and marketing terms and ways to sort of manipulate you or me as the consumer into thinking that their product is any good. Look, if these were $6 strings, they'd be fine, they'd suffice, but for the price they are, they can't get away with charging this much money for their strings. I have no idea what their electric guitar strings sound like, and frankly, I don't really know the difference between great sounding electric guitar strings and bad sounding electric guitar strings. Acoustics, I know what sounds good. Again, that's sort of going to be a subjective scale, but maybe I should rephrase it, and I should say, I know it sounds like crap. And I know that $18 shouldn't buy me crap, and it bought me crap, which really bothers me a lot. So I just wanted to put that out there. Again, probably pretty subjective to some degree, because a lot of people might like maybe more of like a woody sound from their guitar, and you don't want to hear the string, like whatever that means. I'm not really too sure what that means, because you're going to hear the string. That's like saying, I want to drive a car where I don't feel the tire. Well, the tire is part of the car, and you're going to feel it. So yeah, this sort of string showdown just sort of, it got me, because I wanted to, you know, pit these strings up against like Elixirs and some more Diodario and, you know, maybe get like a few videos out of it, but I feel like I'm just kind of like dead in my tracks because they just sounded so bad. So it's hardly even worth a comparison video. I might still do it just to really put it through its paces so that you guys can see what it really does sound like stacked up against different manufacturers of strings. But there's another side of me that's just like, man, I want to abandon these strings completely because they sounded so bad to me. Yeah. I was like a little pissed off, to be honest with you. It bugged me. I don't get that. Yeah, I mean, maybe like I wasn't so manipulated, but something about these strings, when I put them on my guitar, I was just aghast at how bad they sounded. Great marketing, terrible, terrible string, in my opinion. And you guys can let me know in the comments. Do you use these? Do you love them? You might. Do you hate them like me? Maybe. Were you on the fence on buying them because you were also marketed these strings on Facebook or wherever? Hopefully this saves you a little money, or it just becomes like a crazy experiment where you're just dying to know what these strings sounded like. But anyway, you know, that's my 2 cents on these strings. I had to say it because I had such high expectations and I thought that they were going to be so good, and it was such a huge letdown. I mean, I can't even explain how much I was let down because I really wanted to love these strings. They seemed like they would be awesome, and they just weren't. So that's the end of the string showdown. That's pretty much it. Try them if you like, or don't try them, which I would actually highly recommend. All these string showdowns aren't this negative, but I just felt like this one needed to be because we need to hold companies' feet to the fire with good products, especially if you're gonna gouge us in this type of economy. So, I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Curious to see what the comment section's gonna look like on this one. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.